We're going to continue to use multiple representations of unit fractions. Remember, unit fractions are fractions with a numerator of 1. And here we're going to use the area model. So again, the more ways we have to represent a fraction, the more fluid we can be in all the different contexts and situations we'll see. So when I see the area ones, for some reason I always think of cakes or brownies, or here I'm thinking of pizzas. I don't know what baked good we can make out of this star, but it's a good way to think of them is thinking of the unit as represented down here. Okay, the denominator is the number of pieces you need to cut that unit into, and when we have a unit fraction, we're going to shade one of those. So that's how we represent an area model, is we shade the part that we're looking at. So 1/5, and notice it tells us the unit, so this is what needs to be broken into 5 pieces. And again, 5 can be a little bit tricky, but I'm going to do my best. 5 pieces will need 4 cuts. Okay, and you might want to make little tick marks up here first, make sure they're pretty close to evenly spaced. Okay, and remember, theoretically, we imagine that these are exactly the same size, even though we can't draw them that way. And then draw your lines down so you don't have to erase a lot. So 1/5, I'm going to use a highlighter to represent 1/5. I'm going to shade in one of the 5 equal pieces. So this piece is 1/5 of this unit whole. Let's look at the next one. Here we want to represent 1/6, and notice there's 2 circles, but it tells us that the unit is these 2 circles. So I know it's weird to think of the unit 1 as being 2 things, but you could think of this as 2 pizzas, and maybe you're talking about how much of the 2 pizzas you ate, where the 2 pizzas are the whole, or the unit. So we need these 2 pizzas to be broken into 6 equal pieces. So to do that, it should be 3 pieces each. And when I cut these in 3 pieces, I like to make, either you could think of it as a peace sign, it's probably closer to a Mercedes sign. Okay, so I drew a line down to the center, and then I drew those 2 lines. Okay, and again, not perfect, but you can imagine it's pretty fair that these are about the same size. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So the unit is broken into 6 pieces, and 1/6 is shading one of them. We can shade any one. I typically shade something on the left. I don't know why. So for here, I'm going to shade this one. So again, doesn't matter which piece you shade as long as it's 1 out of the 6. And finally, with this star diagram, we want to cut this into, so the 1 star is the unit, 4 pieces. So what I'm thinking here is it's kind of hard to kind of think of getting equal areas this way. So I'm going to start by cutting it in half by drawing it straight down. So this would be 2 equal pieces. And now I'm going to draw a line this way, and it will cut it in quarters. Okay. So notice this time I actually made 2 cuts, 1 cut, 2 cuts to make 4 pieces because I cut the halves in half. So you can do that also depending on the shape. Just make sure when you're done you have the right amount of pieces. And now we're going to shade one of those. I'm going to shade it pink. And how about this piece right here? So this piece represents 1/4 of this unit. So notice how different all of these sizes are, and it's because 1/4 actually looks like the smallest in area, but relative to this unit, 1/4 is actually a larger number. So we'll start to think about that more in upcoming videos.